Check. Alden Richards' heartwarming actions that fans will never forget. Kabutihang hindi nakakalimutan ng mga tagahanga. In the world of fame and flashing cameras, kindness is often quiet. But sometimes, kindness echoes louder than applause. And that is exactly why the story of Alden Richards continues to live in the hearts of so many Filipinos. Because beyond the awards, the hit shows, and the sold-out events, there are moments. Moments of generosity. Moments of sincerity. Moments that prove his heart has always been bigger than his spotlight. The day he chose to give back. There was a time when Alden didn't just show up for a fan event to smile and wave. He showed up with purpose. Instead of accepting gifts from supporters, Alden encouraged something different. He brought items, essentials, supplies, simple gifts, and handed them to his fans not for themselves, but to give to orphans. Para sa kanila, he said softly, for the children who didn't have the same opportunities, for the little ones who needed reminders that they are seen. That small but powerful act changed the atmosphere completely. It wasn't about celebrity, it was about community. And fans felt it. Hindi lang artista may pusong tunay. In Filipino culture, generosity isn't just an action. It's a value. It's malasakit. It's caring deeply even when no one is looking. And Alden has shown that value repeatedly. When he encouraged his fans to pass blessings forward to orphanages, he didn't make it about publicity. There were no dramatic speeches, no grand announcements, just quiet intention. He used his influence to multiply kindness. Instead of receiving love, he redirected it. Instead of spotlighting himself, he spotlighted those in need. And that's something fans will never forget. The power of influence. Used right, celebrities have power, but not everyone uses it wisely. Alden chose to use his platform not only for entertainment, but for impact. When supporters saw him prioritizing children in orphanages, they didn't just admire him more. They were inspired. Many fans shared how they began donating more consistently, volunteering more often, looking beyond themselves. That is the ripple effect of genuine leadership. He didn't just give items, he gave perspective. A personal understanding of struggle. Part of why Alden connects so deeply with ordinary Filipinos is because he understands struggle. Before fame, he faced rejection, financial pressure, responsibility at a young age. He worked tirelessly before becoming the household name he is today. So when he looks at children without parents or stable homes, it isn't from a distance. It's from empathy. He knows what it means to fight quietly, to hope silently, to dream bravely, and that empathy makes his kindness authentic. Fans saw the real him. In that simple act of giving, fans didn't see a superstar. They saw a kuya, a brother, a son, a man who understands that blessings are meant to be shared. And in Filipino homes, stories like that spread quickly. Mabait talaga siya, may puso siya, hindi lang sa camera. Those are the words people use, because sincerity can't be scripted. More than one moment. That wasn't the only time Alden gave back. Over the years, he has quietly supported various causes, often without seeking attention. He understands something powerful. True generosity doesn't need applause. It needs action. And perhaps that is why his supporters remain loyal. Because loyalty is built not just on talent, but on character. Why this moment will never be forgotten. Years from now, fans may forget specific award speeches. They may forget certain red carpet looks, but they will not forget the day Alden chose to turn a fan gathering into a mission of kindness. They will remember that he made them part of something bigger. They will remember that he trusted them to carry generosity forward. They will remember how it felt to witness compassion in real time. And that feeling, it lasts longer than fame. The legacy of a giving heart. At the end of the day, what defines a person isn't just success, it's how they treat those who can't give anything back. And in choosing to uplift orphans through his fans, Alden showed something profound. He doesn't measure success by how much he receives. He measures it by how much he can give. That's why his name continues to resonate. Not just because he is talented, not just because he is handsome, but because he leads with heart. Final reflection. Alden Richards' heartwarming actions remind us of something simple yet powerful. Kindness multiplies. When one person gives with sincerity, others follow. And in a world that can sometimes feel loud and divided, a quiet act of generosity can bring people together. That is the kind of legacy fans will never forget. because long after the lights dim, a good heart still shines. When fame meets responsibility, fame can be overwhelming. It can tempt people to focus only on success, endorsements, and personal milestones. But Alden Richards chose something different. He understood early on that influence is a responsibility, that every fan who lines up for hours, every supporter who saves money just to attend an event, every child who looks up to him, deserves more than just a wave and a smile. They deserve an example. And that day, when he gave items to fans so they could pass them on to orphans, he wasn't just performing kindness, he was teaching it. Ipasa natin ang blessing. Those simple words carry weight. In Filipino culture, blessings are never meant to be kept. They are meant to be shared. When Alden encouraged his supporters to bring joy to orphaned children, he wasn't positioning himself as the hero. He was making his fans partners in compassion. He made them feel included in something meaningful, not just as admirers, but as instruments of goodness. That's powerful, because instead of building a fan base centered on idolization, he built a community centered on empathy. The children who felt seen. Imagine being a child in an orphanage, no celebrity posters on your wall, no expectation of ever meeting someone famous, and then one day, gifts arrive. Sent not just by one actor, but by hundreds of supporters inspired by him. That's not just charity, that's hope. And hope is something children hold on to tightly. They may not remember every detail, but they will remember that someone out there cared enough to send something, to think of them, to include them. And that ripple started with Alden's decision. A heart formed by humility. People often ask why Alden feels different from other celebrities. The answer is simple. He never forgot where he came from. Before becoming one of the country's most recognized names, he was just a young man chasing auditions, facing rejections, carrying family responsibilities, working harder than most people saw. He understands sacrifice, and that understanding keeps him grounded. Because when you know what it feels like to struggle quietly, you never take blessings lightly. Fans don't just admire him, they protect him. There's something unique about Alden's supporters. They don't just cheer, they defend, they care deeply. And it's because they've seen who he is beyond the camera. They've witnessed his patience, his politeness, his gratitude. They've seen how he treats staff members, how he greets security guards, how he thanks his team. Kindness isn't selective for him. It's consistent, and consistency builds trust. The quiet acts that don't make headlines. Not every good deed needs a press release. Some of the most meaningful gestures happen quietly, and Alden has built a reputation for helping without always announcing it. Supporting families, donating to causes, encouraging unity rather than division. These aren't loud moments, but they are lasting ones, because real generosity doesn't chase recognition. It simply acts. More than a superstar. Yes, Alden Richards is successful. Yes, he is admired. Yes, he has achieved milestones many dream of. But what makes him unforgettable isn't just his career, it's his character. It's the fact that when he had the chance to receive love from fans, he chose to redirect it to children who needed it more. That decision speaks louder than any award. The legacy he is quietly building. One day, roles will change, projects will evolve, trends will shift, but stories of kindness, those remain. Years from now, fans will still say, "Naalala mo nung pinasa niya ang gift sa mga bata. Naalala mo kung gaano siya kabait." Because kindness becomes memory, and memory becomes legacy. Alden isn't just building a career, he's building a name associated with compassion. Final reflection. In a world where fame can fade overnight, a good heart lasts forever. Alden Richards didn't just give out things to be distributed to orphans. He gave out a reminder. That success means nothing if you don't lift others along the way. That influence is most powerful when used for good. And that the greatest stars are the ones who shine for others. And that is why fans will never forget him.